We're here at the New York Auto Show, and the two things we can't seem to avoid are crossovers and SUVs because people love them. We've got one of these behind us. This is the new Mercedes GLS. This is basically the S-Class of SUVs, and it is also as boat-like an SUV as you'll find here, at least so far as we've seen. It's meant to seat 7, and it's not exactly the biggest thing out there. It's, comparatively speaking, smaller than a Lincoln Navigator, but it does seat those 7 people in pretty remarkable comfort, unless you happen to be in that third row. I did just see a German man struggle to get out of the back seat. That's partially because the seats themselves are a little difficult to use, especially if you're kind of working on them from behind, but he seemed mostly pleased. He was laughing. It couldn't have been that bad. Up front, we do have a pretty extensive set of creature comforts, much like we've seen in cars like the EQC. We've got two 12-inch touchscreens, one to serve as your instrument cluster and the other to basically just serve as your infotainment system. But there are a lot of other extras you can squeeze into the GLS that do make it just absurd enough that it will be worth whatever luxury price we will end up paying for it when it goes on sale later this year. We do have the Energizing comfort features, which unfortunately we were not able to try because we can't turn this thing on, but among other things, they're meant to energize or get you to relax. In some ways, it's a little absurd, but just the kind of absurd you'd expect out of a really expensive car. The Energizing mode, for example, will give you massage and play fast music to kind of get you pumped up and make sure that you keep your eyes on the road. We do have wireless charging in the back. We do have USB-C as well. So this is a surprisingly future-proof vehicle as well. You'll be controlling all of that stuff using MBUX, Mercedes-Benz's custom-built UI for its cars. We started to see it in the A-Class last year, and we're finally seeing it trickle out throughout Mercedes' entire collection. It is remarkably easy to use, although it can be finicky, especially when voice commands come into play, but that's just kind of true of everything. So you take the good with the bad on that one. And while we're talking about absurd flourishes, there is one more we should talk about. It's called car wash mode. There is no button for it, but you can actually ask the car to just enable it. Basically, what it does is it'll heighten the suspension so all those jets can get those really fiddly bits under the car. It'll fold the mirrors back up against the car's body. It'll even activate a 360-degree camera so you can see exactly what's happening around your vehicle while you're waiting for those octopus-like wipers to finish up. It's patently absurd, but it's absurd in a useful way, which is exactly what I want to spend my money on, right? Yeah, let's go with that. Now, to be clear, the GLS isn't just about finicky, spendy features. There is quite a bit of power here to play with, especially if you go for the top-spec GLS 580 model. That comes with a twin-turbo V8 that produces about 483 horsepower. That's not insignificant. The base model, I should point out, the 450, only has a inline turbocharged V6. That'll get you to about 360 horsepower. So either way, you're still working with a decent amount of performance here, although regardless of which version you go for, the top speed is electronically capped at 130 miles an hour, so don't expect to push this too far over the limit.